Welcome back. Been making quite a bit of progress on the MG. After taking that short break working on the Mini, I thought I'd show you what I've been up to on the MG. So hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. The front fenders have been fit onto the car. This takes a lot of work, a lot of patience. The fenders are really nice fenders. However, each one of these MGs is a little bit different. Everything I've seen with other people doing conversions similar to this, or changing fenders, you always have problems up here on the cowl getting this to fit. This took a lot of work on both sides, a lot of grinding, a little bit of fiberglassing work to get a good fit up here on both sides. The gap up here is filled with a fender bead. This is just a small piece of it that will fit down in here, and then when the final fitting of the fender goes on. These front fenders are not glued on or epoxied on, they're all bolted on. I tried to retain all of the original bolt locations, like up here and here. There's another one back here. There is an inner brace that goes here to support this fender to make this really solid. That was a real pain to fit. I did get it on, but it just took a lot of work. These holes were from the screws that I had put in while locating that inner panel to hold it in place for fiberglassing it on or bonding it together. Let me show you inside the fender. Get some light on here. Okay, this is the original inner splash panel here. It has not been cleaned, but because I'm not actually going to reuse it, I'm just using it for a pattern. But you can see how much wider the fender is. It's a good, 4 inches out right there. Let me take this out of the way. That keeps water and dirt and debris from flying back in here. It kind of helps seal it off. And that's the inner panel back there. These fenders are from Mantell Motorsports. He makes a lot of conversion kits for V6 and V8 engines on MGBs. These were originally designed by Preform Resources, and they did really a nice job on these molds. I'm really pleased with how these came out, and Pete did a really good job of on these fenders. Like I said, the rear fenders, other than some grinding around the edges on the inside to smooth things out and for fitting, which really wasn't that much, they just kind of fell right on. The hard part on the back was, on the previous episode you saw, was doing the inner wheel wells. That was the time-consuming part on the back, but the fenders went on quite easily, actually. The front, a little more involved, like I said earlier, getting the cowl up here to fit nice, getting the door jambs in the ballpark for a final fitting. But it's a lot of work, but they fit really nice. Pete did a nice job on these. The front air dam is not bolted on. It just kind of slipped in here right now. I just set it on there so you can see what it looks like. But anyway, time to get back to work. Okay, in the back of the wheel wells, this I guess it's a splash guard shield. There's one on each side. This is the left side, this is the right side. What I did is I made a cardboard pattern onto this one, the right side. I took the rubber seal this one's all deteriorated. I took the rubber seal off here and just taped this on. But you can see how much wider these fenders are, and that's back from the wheel well just slightly. But anyway, I made some new ones out of aluminum and did some bead rolling on them to strengthen them. They bolt on the one side and they seal off, and they keep water and dirt and debris from flying up inside the wheel wells. The bead roll I'm using is an Eastwood. It works out really well. I've used it on a couple of other projects that I had. I got the optional electric motor for it with the foot control, and it works really good. This is the narrow bead roller. There's one in the middle between these, and this is the wide one. Kind of like the narrow one. It's kind of a tight, confined space. Nobody will really see it, but it will help strengthen that. And there's different rollers that come with the unit. It works really well. Anyway, that's the pattern. And again, you can see how much wider this fender is over the stock, because this was right up against the stock steel fender, and this is the fiberglass fender. I've been working on the equipment box that goes in the back of the car behind the motor. I wanted to show you before I put it in. This was a long process to make. It was a little more complicated than I originally thought. This is going to be welded into the back of the car, but I felt it was easier to construct this outside the car and then put it, weld it in after it's the main structure is together. What I'm doing here, this is the power converter, the 12 volt DC to charge the battery. Acts as the alternator would on a internal combustion engine car. In here I don't have it yet, but this will be the contactor box. It'll have the contactors for the high voltage circuits and some other things in there, relays and so forth. This is the Elcon charger unit, and one of these is going to charge the batteries, the other is the input voltage. This is some control cables. This I put it on this side because the power outlet will be right up in this area here, so it's just a short distance to get down to power this. And also I will probably put the battery in a little cubby hole here in the left rear quarter of the car, which I will show you in a few minutes. This is where it's going to go. It's going to fit in this area right here. And it'll be underneath the level of the floorboard here in the back. So, and it will be sealed off here from the motor and from the elements, because this area up here will be all left open. The rear motor mount, side motor mount, front motor mount down there. And the 12 volt car battery will probably go over in this area here. I don't need too big of one, so I'll be getting one that'll fit in there nicely. I'm going to make some aluminum panels that go on the outside. There's a panel on the front and a panel on the bottom that will kind of be permanent. I'm going to go ahead and I drilled holes and tapped them for screws all the way around on the bottom and also on the front area here. I'm going to leave them off for right now, but yeah, and I went around, got things sealed up with the seam sealer. I picked up some turn signal lights that'll go in these holes on both sides. I cut off, they were a little bit long, so I cut off a section off each side, and then I made these. I had some fiberglass left over from the headlight openings on the front fenders, So I cut these out, and then these will fit on here like that. I'm going to glass them on. I might have to go a little bit larger on this inner hole, but anyway, I got a hole started there. I'm going to glass those on today. Get that done, and there's a little bit more trimming I have to do on this, smoothing things out. I might trim a little bit off of here, make this kind of a curved to match the curve of the front. It's not going to really show. It'll be behind or underneath the grill. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. I'll show more later. The wheels and tires are on. These are VTO wheels. They're 16 by 8. I had to have them custom drilled with the Chevy bolt pattern, but I don't know. I kind of like the classic 8 style of the wheel. The tires they're called Extenza HP2s. These are 205 45 16s. Anyway, everything clears really nice. I still have to get the center caps on. I'll put those on later. I'm going to have some flat ones on there, and then some chrome lug nuts. And the back, here's the back one. They're the same size wheel tire all the way around. Like I said, 16 by 8 VTOs. But they have a nice aggressive look to them. I wanted them to be a little deeper, a deeper dish, but that's just the only way I could get these wheels. They are a 0 offset, so they're half in, half out of the 8 inches. So anyway, that's that. A lot of tire or wheel well clearance. I'm going to trim a little bit here on both sides and the rear. This is at the lowest setting right now on the tire, so when the car's sitting, the rim is actually going to be up here another 2 inches maybe. It's kind of at the fully extended position right now. There'll be some adjustments that I'll have to do to the suspension to level it out, but anyway, that's what that looks like. I've been working on the radiator mounts in the front. The Tesla motor requires coolant. They don't need a lot, but EV West, I saw that they were using these Prius. They're a small radiator. They have a pretty large capacity though, and with electric fan, that's what this is. Along with that, I'm going to be running a pump. This is an electric water pump. It's I don't recall exactly what the flow rate, but it's a lower rate than a regular water pump would be. But you run regular antifreeze coolant through the system, and it cools both the electric motor and the transmission part of the Tesla drivetrain. So this should be enough for cooling everything. The bracket I made out of aluminum. I changed out the factory rubber bushings here in the back and put some poly bushings in just to firm things up. What I wanted to show you here, this is the Prius water pump. I think I'm going to mount it right in this area here. It seems to be out of the way there, clears everything, but we'll see. I might have to alter the bracket slightly, maybe raise this up a little bit like that, just to make sure I clear everything. But it's a good safe place. The hose outlet, inlet and outlet from it are unobstructed from some of the framework and bodywork and stuff back here. So I'll probably just mount it here. It's out of the way. I'm really limited on space. Being such a small car, it is really limited where I can put it. I was thinking about putting it up front, but I'd have to make a whole new bracket assembly for it. And it doesn't really need to be in the front, it can be in the back. I made a lid for the battery box that's mounted behind the seats. I took the panel off just so I could get at things. But I put a hinge, a piano type hinge on the front to allow access, and I'll probably have this bolted down in place once the batteries are in there. There'll be a covering over this, probably carpeted, and it'll come around here and clear the roll bar if I put a roll bar in here. But anyway, that's where 8 of the batteries are going to go with access through that.